What up, YouTube? How's it going? Alright, so it's gonna be another rant. It's been a long time coming, and this is something I wanted to talk about with you guys. It's kind of similar to the last rant I did, which is about fake snapbacks and how people get into the hype of, if it's not name brand, that whole mess where like people basically talk shit about hats that aren't like New Era, American Needle, Michelin Nest. Did I say that? I don't know if I did. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of branch off that. It's kind of similar, but this is kind of the adverse effect where, as you guys may know, I love vintage snapbacks. I love them. This one right here, vintage snapback by Outdoor Cap. But basically, yeah, it's just talks. I want to talk about the vintage community and how, what I've kind of noticed. Now, a lot of people in my last video, or not a lot of people, but some people have commented on my first rant, commenting stuff about like, oh, Michelin Nest is Hypebeast and all that stuff, like, all that stuff. And basically, I kind of realized that a lot of people who, who collect vintage hats or like some type of vintage, or like affiliated with that, whether they wear vintage hats or I've noticed that a lot of people seem to think that they're better than everyone else because they have vintage hats. I'm not gonna lie, it's easy to notice that everybody hops on to like Mitchell Ness, New Era, all that stuff, not because they're like fuck vintage hats, but it's because it's more available. You go to the mall, you can see hats like that. But I don't see why people need to, people who collect vintage hats need to feel better, need to feel that they're better than people who wear retro hats. I don't agree with that. But I'm not gonna lie, I would be completely wrong and say I wasn't guilty of it. But at the same time, you gotta admit that like not everybody like, not everybody would think about going to thrifts, or I don't even know where else you would probably get vintage hats if it wasn't for like a thrift or like online, or maybe at like some flea market or something like that. That's just how it is. Honestly, I feel like if people thrifted more and realized what you could get at thrifts, they would definitely be on vintage hats. But the fact that they're not, or like it's not out there, it's so people tend to go towards Mitchell Ness, New Era, American Needle, all that stuff, 47 brand, all that. But it's not exactly their fault. And I just don't agree how people think that they're better than them because, well, I'm not a hype beast. It's like, well, yeah, you're not a hype beast, but at the same time, like, you're kind of giving into the hype of the whole vintage stuff if you think you're better than everyone else, because isn't that kind of what a hype beast is? They think they're better than everyone else because they wear certain things, or I don't know if they really think that they're like better, but that's kind of the impression that I get. If you don't wear like Supreme or Obey, or I don't even know what else, like, oh, step your clothing game up or something, I don't know. But yeah, I just kind of feel like it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, they're not really as hyped, but giving into saying that, oh, fuck retro hats, it's all about vintage. Yeah, that's a little bit of hype. I can't lie, it's a little bit of hype right there. Personally, I don't really care about retro, whether it's retro or vintage. But yes, I do prefer vintage just because, for one, it's a lot cheaper. Well, depends. Sometimes vintage hats are fucking ridiculously priced. Like scripts and shark tooths and splashes and blockheads, all that stuff. It's fucking ridiculously priced. But stuff like this, like simple ones, you can get them at the thrift for like pretty cheap. And online, I think that vintage hats are freaking ridiculous priced. Yeah, I've seen like basic logo hats go for like $20 or something. Um, so I think, yeah, but I mean, I have nothing wrong with retro hats. You know, like here's a New York Nick one. Yeah, see, this is cool. This is Mitchell Ness. I like it. It's not bad. The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that like the top, like it's so huge, so it just looks weird when I wear it forwards. You know, it's basically like I have another head coming out, so I don't like that. That's why I tend to wear them backwards when I can, or whenever I do wear Mitchell Ness. But I feel like with this vintage one, you know, it's not as bad. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know, it fits kind of well. Huh. I just like the fit, but I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily better than other people because I wear vintage ones. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're walking down the street, no one will know you have a vintage hat unless you're really into it, you know? To them, it's just another hat. So that's another thing. Like, why do you want to give in to, like, I don't know, just thinking, like, oh yeah, my hat costs more than yours? I don't know. Like, I also realize that it's kind of stupid. Like, yeah, the, like, shark tooth splashes, scripts are all pretty rare. And they're all really, you know, everyone loves them. I love them. I don't have any. But, yeah, I just realized, like, at the end of the day, like, no one's really gonna know. Like, you yourself is gonna know? That sounds kind of stupid, but you know what I mean? Like, no one else is gonna know how much your hat really costs. So, when it comes down to it, why would you need to feel that you're better than them if no one's even gonna recognize that? And it's not like you wear J's and you're like, oh shit, you know, like, everybody knows J's are expensive. Not everybody has J's. Or like breads, or I love the Raging Bull 5s. Those are fucking sexy. But yeah, like nobody has those. Like that, there's no like snapback equivalent. You know, like I won like Mighty Ducks one. You're like, oh cool hat. Like that's about it. That's the extent. Nobody goes, oh man, that hat's, you know, oh man, it's a pretty expensive hat. You know, so it's just, I don't know. I find it weird. I can't talk today. I'm hungry. I find it weird that people have to think that they're better than everyone else because they have vintage hats. Because I'm pretty sure nobody who wears retro hats goes, yeah, you know, that's better than his. You know, it's like everybody just, to them it's just a hat. You know, chances are you see people wearing hats, it's just because that's the fad going on. Everybody's rocking snapbacks. Nobody really rocks fitteds anymore. That's just how it is. No, I don't think it's right to judge people and think that you're better than them, but that's just my whole thing. Personally, like I said, I don't care whether it's retro or vintage, as long as it looks good. I've stated that numerous times before. But yeah, I do like vintage hats because they are cheaper, depending on where you get them. And you know, they're, I don't know, they have a better fit. Not these gigantic, ridiculously huge, you know, the crown, so to speak. Yeah, that's my rant. Sorry I can't talk. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys understood it, because half the time I was like, what am I saying? Anyways, guys, take care, peace.